Hello, you beautiful people. So, I'm guessing that you clicked on this video because you're a little bit curious about the upcoming character banners coming to Honkai Star Rail and want to plan your savings ahead of time to pull for your desired unit, right? Well, luckily for you, you've landed on the perfect video to get all this banner-related info. Today, I'm mainly going to go over all the characters that are going to be featured on the limited banners from patch 3.3 to 3.6, and along with this, we will also take a look at some other speculations related to the rerunning units. Other than that, I will tell you about some upcoming characters who will be released in the later versions like patch 3.7, 3.8, and 4.0 as well. Honestly, from the start of patch 3.0, the banner lineups have been kind of diabolical, and after looking at the future patches, I can assure you that these insane banners are going to continue for quite a while. Now, to help you guys a little bit with these banners, I'm going to host a 20 Express Pass giveaway in this video. The participation requirements are really easy because all you need to do is that you need to go down in the comment section and leave a simple comment on the video. Also, keep in mind that you don't need to be subscribed to the channel or anything like that to participate either, but I would really appreciate if you do end up subscribing later on. Other than that, join my Discord server if you want more giveaways because I host quite a lot of them there and just wanted to clear up. This giveaway is totally different from the one that I hosted in my last video, and you should also check that video out to enter that giveaway as well. I will announce the results of this one in around 2 weeks after posting this video, so good luck and may Gayatara bless you all. Lastly, I just want to say, thank you for all the support recently and I genuinely love you guys. Anyways, with that done, I'm just going to mention the usual disclaimer that everything which I mention in this video is based on info taken from different sources, and it might be changed at any point of time, so take all this info with a grain of salt. With that being said, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. Alright, starting with a little recap of the banners appearing in patch 3.2, we're going to see Castorice get her first limited banner in the first half of the patch, and alongside her, we will also see Acheron. Jiaoqiu and Fugue get their reruns, and all of them will be featured on the triple rerun banner. Now, as for the second half, our feeble scholar Anaxa is going to get his debut banner in this half, and other than him, Dr. Ratio is finally going to appear on the banners again with his first rerun after almost 450 days of his release. I think most of you guys already know almost everything that there is to know about Castorice and Anaxa though, so I'm not going to make you guys bored with the same info and moving on. Let's take a look at the limited banners appearing from patch 3.3 and patch 3.4. Okay, so due to the drip marketing strategy, we already know about the 2 limited characters that will be featured in this patch, and to no one's surprise, these characters are going to be Hyacine and Cipher. Now, looking at the drip marketing schedule, I'm very confident that Hyacine will be featured in the first half of the patch, while Cipher will get her debut banner in the second half of version 3.3. Let's discuss a little bit about Hyacine and Cipher before we move on, and take a look at the rerun banners for this patch. So, starting with Hyacine, she is going to be a wind-type character who follows the path of remembrance, and she is going to be the first non-abundance healer in HSR. Honestly, a bit off topic, but I kind of love that all the remembrance path characters can easily fit into other paths, but they're still considered as remembrance units, just because they have a memo sprite of their own. Coming back to Hyacine, according to the current info, we can easily speculate that her kit is pretty much based around her memo sprite, and it provides a lot of utility like tons of healing and a lot of AoE attacks on top of that. I have to say, I actually find Hyacine's kit quite interesting because rather than being a traditional healer, her kit also focuses on her damage-dealing capabilities, and her memo sprite quite literally has a 100% crit on all the attacks it performs. Other than that part, she also has a trace which is entirely dedicated to boosting her memo sprite's damage, and I think now you probably understand why I find her kit really interesting, right? Her early kit honestly looks insanely good, and if you still don't have a total of 2 limited sustains on your account, I would definitely advise you to consider saving for Hyacine, and trust me, she is worth it. Alright, next up, let's move on from Hyacine and take a quick look at all the info that we have on Cipher's kit as of now. So, as we all already know, Cipher is going to be a quantum type unit who follows the path of nihility, and she is going to fulfill the role of a pure sub DPS on your team. If my memory serves me correct, Cipher is going to be the first follow-up character that we've gotten in a while, and yes, I know Tribi also uses follow-up attacks, but I genuinely consider her more of a support than a follow-up unit. Now, going by the current info that we have on Cipher, I honestly think the idea of her ultimate is really unique. Basically, her ultimate stores or counts the damage dealt by your entire team, and after that, when you use her ultimate, she will deal a certain percentage of this stored damage to the enemies, and this damage is considered as true damage. I think you can see why I think her ultimate is really interesting and unique, right? Other than the ultimate, we know that she will have constant follow-up attacks in her kit, and this will allow her to fit in a lot of strong teams. Dude, I think with the right numbers and more clarification on how she works, she can easily be one of the most meta-defining supports we've had, but for that, we might need to wait for around 4 more days. Lastly, I know a lot of you are probably wondering about this, but no, as of right now, Cipher does not really have that good of a synergy with Acheron. Well, that's pretty much it for the new limited banners in patch 3.3. Next up, let's finally move on and take a look at the rerun banners for this patch. So first of all, after the new change that they made to the banner system, I think a lot of people were wondering if they will change the standard pool of characters every patch or not. Well, I personally think they will make changes to the standard pool every major patch rather than every single patch, and the next update is most likely going to be in either patch 3.4 or patch 3.6. Honestly though, this and all the rerun banners that I will mention in a bit are just based on info that I have collected from different sources and also my own speculations, so don't take any of this info too seriously. Now, with that point being cleared, I'm pretty confident that in patch 3.3, we will only have a total of 2 rerunning characters, and these characters are going to be Fei Xiao and Jinglu. Yep, as we all already know, HSR always likes to rerun characters who are synergistic with the newly released units, and based off that info, I would say a Jinglu and Fei Xiao rerun makes quite a lot of sense. Now I'm going to discuss a bit more about these rerun characters and why they are probably going to rerun in patch 3.3, but if you're not interested in my yapping, you can simply skip the section and save your valuable time. So, starting with Jinglu, after the 3.2 livestream, I think almost everyone is aware that she is receiving buffs in patch 3.4. In her current state, I would not say Jinglu is anywhere close to the level of the top DPSs that we have right now, but after the buffs, she might reclaim her position as one of the best DPS in the game. Now though, to maximize the fear of missing out, I'm almost 90% confident that they will try to rerun Jinglu in this patch, just so that a lot of people will pull her because she is getting buffed right in the next patch, and they don't want to miss out on a buffed unit. Other than that, Hyacine is also going to synergize really well with Jinglu due to her HP drain mechanic, so that's pretty nice. All in all, in her current state, I won't really advise anyone to pull for Jinglu meta-wise, but after buffs, she might become one of the best DPSs in the game, so do keep that in the back of your mind. Moving on to Fei Xiao, she is a wind-type unit who follows the path of the hunt, and she is basically our best follow-up DPS as of right now. Honestly, the entire reason why I suspect they might rerun Fei Xiao in this patch is because she will probably synergize insanely well with Cipher, considering that Cipher is also a follow-up based unit. What I'm trying to say is that Cipher will probably replace Topaz in Fei Xiao's premium team once she releases in patch 3.3. Other than that though, I can't think of any reason to justify a Fei Xiao rerun, but if you do like her design and her play style, I would say she is still a really decent DPS even though the current meta is totally against her single target-based kit. Welp, that's pretty much all the banners that we're going to see in patch 3.3. Moving on, without wasting any time at all, let's take a look at the limited banners which are going to be featured in patch 3.4. So, 3.4 is going to be a really stacked patch because according to some reliable sources, we're going to see a total of 3 5-star characters. Yep, for the first time ever, we're actually having a total of 3 5-star units, but obviously, there's a catch and the third 5-star is going to be a free one. Basically, in version 3.4, the 3 new limited characters are going to be Phainon, Saber, and Archer. Dude, they're actually going to put the FATE Collab in the same patch as phainon, which is like genuinely crazy, and I can already see a lot of wallets being drained. If we go by the current info, phainon is going to get his limited banner in the first half of the patch, while the FATE Collab characters are getting their debut banners in the second half of version 3.4. Honestly, let's talk about the collab characters first, before moving on and talking about one of the most hyped characters, which is obviously phainon. So, according to a somewhat reliable source, both Saber and Archer are going to be 5-star units, and this actually makes quite a lot of sense, as compared to the previous info which stated that Archer is going to be a 4-star unit. Now, I know a lot of you probably missed this during the livestream, but they quite literally announced a free character, and at this point, we can easily guess that this free character is going to be Archer. I mean, gacha games giving a free character during a collab is very common, so this news isn't really surprising. Have to say though, I'm really happy that I'm going to get Archer for free because I really love his story in the Fate series, and I'm very confident that they will cook really hard with his design. Moving on to Saber, she is going to be a limited 5-star character just like all the other 5 stars, and as of right now, all the info that we have on her is that she is going to be a wind-type unit who follows the path of destruction. Dude, I legit think I went from not being excited about the collab at all to being really hyped about it just because I started watching the Fate series, and I really like both Saber and Archer quite a lot. Next up, taking a look at Phainon, he is supposedly going to be a physical type unit who follows the path of destruction, and he will obviously play the role of a main DPS on your team. I actually tried finding pretty much any kind of info on his kit, but as of the current moment, I don't think we have any crumbs from the reliable sources at all, so I do apologize for that. Talking about his design, we know that he will have a black and a white wing appear on his back whenever he uses his ultimate, and other than that, most of his abilities will scale based on single target buffs. Basically, this means that Phainon will scale really well with teammates who have great single target buffs like Sunday and Sparkle. Keep in mind though that the source for this info isn't considered that reliable, but if his kit does end up like that, I think it's actually a pretty good concept at the end of the day. At this point, I'm pretty excited to get Phainon, even though his banner is like months away for now, but that just means that I have more and more time to save for him. Anyways, as for the reruns for this patch, I'm not going to lie, I genuinely have no idea who they will decide to rerun. If the kit info about Phainon does turn out to be true though, then I can easily see them rerunning Sunday in this patch because he is pretty much the best single target buffer that we have right now. Dude, I would actually be so happy if Phainon synergizes perfectly with Sunday because that means that I can play 2 of my favorite characters in the same team, and that would actually be so perfect. Well, there we go. That's all the limited banners that we're going to see in version 3.4, along with the free 5-star. Moving on, from this point, I will just tell you guys about some upcoming characters which are going to appear from patch 3.5 to 3.8 just to save time, and as of right now, we do not have any kind of concrete info on their kits anyway. Alright, so starting with version 3.5, this version is going to feature a total of 2 characters who have already been teased, and if you watched my last banner video, you already know that these 2 characters are going to be Yazilins and Cerydra. Talking about Yazilins first, this character is the one that the DOT mains have been starving for, and according to the current info, she is going to save the DOT society. Now, if you take a look at her abilities from the new Divergent universe, it's pretty obvious that she is going to have a DOT-centric kit, and Yazilins will be a physical type unit who follows the path of nihility. Dude, I really hope she isn't made for some future unit and synergizes perfectly well with the buffed version of Kafka, because my fellow DOT mains have suffered enough already. Moving on to Cerydra, we know nothing about her as of right now, but according to a recent source, she is going to be a Harmony type unit. Yep, considering the timing of her release, I'm guessing she is going to be the best in slot support for a Phainon team alongside Sunday, but there is a possibility that she is completely designed for some future unit. Honestly though, I think I will probably have to pull for her just because of the fact that she is a Harmony unit, and skipping Harmony units in HSR isn't really a good idea. Next up, I would say patch 3.6 is almost as stacked as version 3.2 and version 3.4 because this patch will feature the 5-star forms of 2 of my favorite characters. Yep, I think a lot of you guys already know who these characters are, but if you're someone who doesn't know, the 2 new characters in this patch will be the 5-star versions of March 7th and Dan Hung. Dude, these 2 along with Phainon and Cyrene are probably my most anticipated units during the entire Amphoreus Arc, and both of them being in the same patch does make it a little bit difficult to get them, but trust me, I will manage somehow. Anyways, starting with March 7th, her 5-star form is going to be an Ice-type unit who follows the path of remembrance, and as of right now, that's all the info that we have on her. Moving on to her design though, the current info says that this form of March will be an evil or a sinister version of her, which does sound really interesting, and I do hope that they cook with her final design. Moving on to Dan Heng, he is going to get his second 5-star version in this patch, and this form will be a Fire-type unit who follows the path of preservation. Honestly, Dan Heng going from the destruction path to the preservation path is a little funny in my opinion, and I guess he is going to be really meta. I mean, he is going to be our yearly preservation unit and also the sole preservation during the entire Amphoreus Arc, so I would say it does make sense for him to be a really meta unit. Lastly, as for patch 3.7 and patch 3.8, These patches are going to feature a total of 2 characters, namely Cyrene and Constance, which are also really hyped units due to their designs. First of all, talking about Cyrene, I actually need to physically stop myself from simping for her because if I start once, the video will be an hour long and my simping still won't stop. Anyways, all we know about her for now is that she is going to be an ice type unit who follows the path of remembrance, and that's literally it. Dude, I already know that this patch is going to be the end of me because I'm definitely going for E2 Cyrene, and I somehow have to manage that while pulling for phainon, Dan Heng, March 7th, and any other character I like along the way. Finally, taking a look at Constance, we quite literally have 0 info on her, and yes, this includes her element and her path as well. Have to say though, her design is probably one of the best ones in the game, and I will try to pull for her with everything that I have left after getting an E2 Cyrene. Well, there you go. That's pretty much all the character banners that are going to be featured during patch 3.3 to 3.8. Lastly, as I end the video, a little info as a gift for you, and according to a decently reliable source, Sakura's XP will be playable in the next arc, which means between patch 4.0 to 4.8. Now though, I'm quite curious. Who are you guys pulling in the upcoming version? Personally for me, I'm aiming for phainon, Dan Heng, March 7th, and Cyrene as of now, but I kind of want to give in and pull for castorice because I do like her character story and her animations a lot. Also, I didn't mention it before as it gets annoying, but if you liked the video, then do consider subscribing. With that being said, I hope you got what you were looking for, and I will see you in another one.